Hey guys, it's back with JohnyTechReview and I hope you guys are doing well. So I have this product in my possession for about 2 months now and I've been using it for a little bit here and there for walks. What this is, it looks like a Alexa Echo device, but it is not. It's a product from a company called NUROUM, and this is the C40. So they have two different versions of this product. There's the 2K version, which is the one I have here, and then there's a 4K version. What this is basically a conference, speakers, microphone, and also camera built-in. It has a 2K camera here as the name implies, and that allows you to kind of get a really wide angle, and it has built-in AI, so with no software built-in inside the device that can automatically detect the parties, zoom out when there's a lot of people in the table, and zoom in when there's only 1 or 2 people or whoever's talking, and focus on them. So that's generally the application of this. And yeah, up top it has 4 buttons that you can do volume up and down. You can change the zoom mode or AI mode or not, or you can also mute the microphone. There are 4 different microphones up here that will allow you to pick up the audio in the room. And then of course the speaker is kind of surrounded down here, but really it's about, I think, 2 or 3 speakers that is different direction. But putting this in the middle of the or in front of the table get you a good sound for the room. Some of the really big highlight is that there's no software, which actually for me is a really pro. You don't need any software. It's just a USB device you plug in, and then your computer will show up a camera, a webcam, right? It will show up the microphone and speaker, and you can select those, so you can use this in any window application or in Teams. Again, I'm a Windows user. I don't know if you spoke of Mac or not, but as far as I know, this is for me, the Windows use case. At the bottom of the unit, you have a port, USB-C port with a long 10-foot USB-C cable that's included. And then there's a power cable that's also included. And the power cable allows you to have it more power on all the time. And also on top of that, it gives you a louder speaker volume. So you can use the whole device without actually having the power cable. But then the volume, I would say, reduced to about 80%. And if you plug in the power cable, you get additional power. And that way you can then get the louder speakers. It is not reverse power delivery, so of course you cannot power your laptop with this. Rather, your laptop or whatever device you plug this in will power this unit instead, just one way. So it also comes with a pretty simple, kind of boring remote control, but that remote control works well. It has the control button here for zooming in and moving left and right on the frame, volume, mute. You have the camera turn up, the mic turn up now, and then at the bottom you have the menu. What's interesting about this unit is that when you plug it in, there's no software like I mentioned, but there is an on-screen built-in software firmware for this device, right? There's an on-screen display that you can change a few different options and settings. For my unit, it was nil, but the on-screen or the OSD was actually flip or mirror. So I had to go in the option, kind of finagle with it and change it so that's not mirror anymore. But after that, it works fine. And there you can see information change, color, contrast, a few things there. Pretty limited, but allow you to set some of those settings down. So let's talk about my use case. Number 1, I tried to set it up. This is not my normal use case because I'm working from home. But I set it up on my dining table where I have my family kind of sit around, and when it is at the end of the table, if it see more than 1 people, it will try to get everyone in the shot. It has a pretty wide angle camera. I'll put the number on the screen. But then if there's only 1 person, then it will focus on that person. It will zoom. So in terms of pictures, for the 2K, I would say it's pretty good, but I wish there's more. Like for example, if I'm on the far end of the pictures, when it's zoom in, it's doing the digital zoom in, of course. So of course, it depends on how close you are and the lighting and everything. The picture might be good, it might be somewhat grainy, depends on the condition. I'll show you a few examples. Now in terms of yes, I wish I have the 4K version. Maybe that gives me a lot more resolution to crop in when it's doing the digital zoom. But that's one thing to keep in mind. For the audio without the power plug-in, I think it's loud enough, but in a loud room you might want to plug that in to get the additional volume, because if there's a lot of people talking, maybe the volume is not loud enough. So I would suggest to do that. For me, in my use case, in the second use case where I'm sitting and putting in front of my monitor and my desk, it's a lot closer to me. The volume was fine. I had it set up about like 60% volume or something like this. And then from a microphone perspective, in the room setting, it can pick up everybody's voice and you can kind of hear them. They do have to speak up a little bit. I would say it's on par with my Jabra speakerphone, which I have for that purpose. So I would say this is pretty good in terms of the microphone setup. Now I would say that it cannot be something like the previous webcam that I have that has the cardio mic right in front of me. So the microphone right in front of me, my team will tell me that they can hear my voice a lot better. While this one, even though it's a little bit right there to the side, they feel like I'm talking to it's a big room. It's not like very, close and focused. So again, it depends on the configuration of the microphone. Of course, with just the microphone being on top of the device like this, it has to pick up everything in the room. With Teams, the noise reduction works pretty well for either device, but for the specific webcam that has a cardio mic, it worked really good, and it sounds like I'm right there in front of the other people, right? So pardon the mess, this is the NUROUM C40. I am roughly approximately the same distance from the other webcam, the RC28, give you an idea how loud the volume is. So again, I'm roughly about 15 feet away from the camera in the room. Again, pardon the mess, but give you an idea right now of how loud the sound is coming through through the microphone. Okay, testing. This is the volume coming from the Rockwell RC28 webcam. This is the microphone is roughly about same distance, about 3 feet away from me. So keep that in mind. It works well in a big room. It works well by yourself, but it does sound hollow and it sounds like you're in a big room. Is how I would describe it, and that's what others keep telling me. Now there are two little quirks that I would say that's important for you to know. Number one is the frame rate. So the resolution, if you want to zoom around and you want to have more than 30 frames per second, it can do up to 60 frames per second. But to do 60 frames per second, you have to be in 1080p. If you go to, let's say, 1440p or 2K, you're limited at 30 frames per second, which, it's okay, but it looks not as buttery smooth, right? I'm used to the 60 FPS, so at 30 FPS it might feel a little bit not as smooth to you. However, if you want a 60 FPS, you're gonna have to do this in 1080p. One last thing I would like to point out is a cord with each device. Anything that has automatic zoom in to detect to follow people, I would say this can be pretty disoriented for the other people. So for example, using Teams, if I am having just AI where I automatically focus and follow me where I stand up and it zoom out, kind of like, that kind of thing. Generally, if you have on Teams, if you turn on the blur, you just become really disoriented, right? So if you turn the blur off, and normally in a conference room you would do that anyway, you don't want blur, you want to see everybody and everything. So in that case, the zooming doesn't feel as jarring. But if you have, let's say, blur on for team, because you're usually by yourself, if you're standing up, it's zooming in and out, it can be kind of disorienting. So I would say that's one thing to keep in mind if you are planning to buy this for just a small 2 or 3 people. Make sure that you don't use the blur function. But this is not just this camera. I think this is just generally with this type of devices. The other thing that I wish it allowed you to do is actually slow down that zoom effect. Right now it's just one speed. If I'm standing here with 3 people, it's right out, and if the 2 people move away and just me, it will zoom quickly right into my face, and it's really fast. And that speed you cannot control. And that's one thing that I hope that somehow they can release firmware update to do this. But currently I don't see a way to change the setting. It's just that exact one speed. So guys, that's overall my review of this NUROUM C40. I say for a team where you need to have a room with multiple people, this works really well. If you're just doing this by yourself, this doesn't make sense. I just had it as a product to review, so I wanted to check it out to see how good the audio quality is and the video. I would say for the price, if you're looking for something like this, I would say skip the 2K and go for the 4K version. You get a little bit more crop. Again, I haven't used that version, but just understanding resolution, you have a lot more crop and reach, and that would be better. Improvement, I would say slightly louder speaker would be nice, especially in bigger room. At 100% volume, to me, it's not very loud compared to some of my other speakers, so that is something to also keep in mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little review that I have. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment box down below. Like the video as it will help me, and consider subscribing for more future content. Thank you.